So I want to talk today about Mindsets. Mindsets is a book that Carolyn Dweck wrote about there are two types of thinking processes. There's a growth mindset. These are people that feel that you can learn and grow. Basically, it just takes passion and some work, and you can pretty much learn anything you need to do for success. Then there is the fixed mindset. Fixed mindset people are the people that feel that you are born with a talent, you're born with a brain, and if you don't have it, you don't have it, but if you have it, that's how it works. And there's a negative here because these are the same people that feel that they're not going to go outside of anything that they know they're good at. They're afraid to try new things. Where a growth mindset, failure to them just means that, oh, I just have to try harder next time, or maybe if I put more effort into it. That's what a growth mindset person would do. So there's a couple ways that I want to go about this. I want to talk about what creates a growth mindset person or a fixed mindset person, how you can change, and also the benefits of being a growth mindseted person. Now, for me, this is a very personal issue. I was diagnosed with dyslexia as a child, and as a kid, they told me that I was not going to amount to much. I mean, they literally told my parents that if I was lucky, I'd be a crossing guard someday. Nothing against crossing guards, which is one of the things I had to point out, that aren't they responsible for children's lives? That's not a horrible job. But, so, fixed mindset people, if I was told that I have dyslexia and I'm not going to amount to anything, and I have a fixed mindset, I'm going to think that why try anything new? I'm not good at anything. I might as well just stay in this hole and do nothing. But a growth mindset person is a person that realizes that, hey, you know what? I might be good at this, or I might be good at that, or you know what? The other day I was trying something and it seemed very easy for me. Let me keep trying until I try harder things. Growth. Now you can also you can turn one of your children into a fixed or growth mindset person, or your employees. This is why I talk about it, because just with your vocabulary and the way you speak to people, you're talking to a growth mindset or a fixed mindset. Let's take it this way. If you have a child, let's start with children. If you have a child and that child, instead of telling them they were very smart when they did something, say they show you, Mommy, Daddy, I have this, look how great I did, right? They're proud. You can say, yes, I see that you put a lot of effort in there. You did very well with that task. Good for you. Versus, oh, you're so smart. You're going to be the next president. You're such a smart kid. Now, let's turn that around. You're such a smart kid means that this one thing they're good at, and they now think that you only really like them when they're just smart. But the other way of saying that I can see that you put effort into that and it paid off, that's showing that now they're going to try and put effort into more things. Does that make sense? You're talking effort versus skill, and a fixed skill at that. Say you have a daughter and she likes to dress up. Like maybe instead of saying, you're so pretty, or like you're going to be a model someday. Instead of saying something like that, say, I really like your fashion sense. You're very good at matching clothes. You must like fashion a lot. Now you're talking about how good they are at something that they chose they wanted to do, not something that they were born pretty. Does that make sense? We're now working with a skill set that they can increase or decrease or do whatever with. Same goes for employees, but self-talk is a big thing with people. Little voices in your head. Now, with knowing your mindsets and knowing how mindsets work, now I wanted to show you about how to identify a fixed mindset voice and how to replace it with a growth mindset voice. There's moments where you second guess yourself, and that's where the fixed mindset comes in. So I have a couple scenarios I wrote down here. All right, so you're approaching a challenge, and that little voice in your head says, are you sure you want to do this? Maybe you don't have that talent. Or what if you fail? You'll be a failure. People will laugh at you for even thinking you had talent. And if you try, you can't protect yourself and keep your dignity. Now, these are all fixed mindsets. And the challenge with all life, of all the ways of getting better at things, is putting yourself outside that comfort zone. So a fixed mindset is going to stay in a very comfortable area and just repeatedly doing the same thing. There are kids, this is a great one. All right, there's this study where these kids, Carol Dweck in the book Mindsets talks about this. There's a study where kids were given puzzles, right? And you can tell the difference between a growth mindset kid and a fixed mindset kid. Because the kids that were, the harder the puzzles got, the growth mindset kids, I mean, they were struggling, man. They were having a hard time. They're sweating. They're like, ugh. But they were so into being pushed. They're into getting the idea of like, oh, this is really stretching me. But the fixed mindset kids actually hated it. They when given the choice, do you want to do a puzzle at the same level that you just did? Or do you want to try a harder puzzle? They say that they would rather just do the same puzzle again or do the same level of puzzle. They don't want to do the harder puzzle because that's going to make them not look as smart. And the other thing is when these kids at the end of the day were asked if they want to take puzzles home with them, the fixed mindset kids actually lied and said, oh, no, we have these puzzles at home. When the growth mindset kid said, yeah, I want these puzzles. Can you tell my parents where they can get more? I want to get harder puzzles. Do you see the difference? These are kids that didn't even know the difference between the two. They just knew that they really liked learning and they liked expanding their minds. Growth. And all right, here's another one. Another voice in your head thing. All right, as you criticize, you might as you face criticism, you might hear your inner voice say, it's not my fault. It was something someone else did that put me in this position. Or you might feel that when you're getting criticized, that they're picking on you versus trying to help you get stronger. Or, they feel that you're being disapproved of versus helped. And that's a big issue because a lot of people hate criticism. And growth mindset people actually take criticism at what it is. It's helping you. It's a critique. And that you have to separate the two. Now you have to recognize this is your choice. You can choose to be a fixed mindset person or a growth mindset person. If you're a fixed mindset person, you can just stay in your happy little bubble and never really expand or learn anything. You're going to be great at that one thing that you know you're good at, but you're never going to realize that you're great at these other things that you were afraid to try, right? So you could be a growth mindset person and try new things. You could figure out that, hey, you know what? I'm not really good at that, but I could get better at that if I really liked it, but I'm not really as into it as I thought. Let me try something else. The funny part is growth mindset people are very much into learning something new. And it's really an interesting way to think because, you know what? I can get better at that if I just try harder. Let me put myself in a space where maybe I can try and do that more often, you know? And I love that aspect of the growth mindset. Now, over time, you can figure out which voice is predominant in your head. So whenever you take a challenge, wherever it is, just learn from your setbacks and try again versus like, oh, I'm not going to do that again. If you hear that inner critic tell you you can't do it, I think that's pretty much the opportunity for your growth mindset to kick in and tell you can do it if you just try harder. The book is called Mindsets. Carol Dweck, D-W-E-C-K. All the information I just said is going to be below. I highly recommend this. It's a great listen. I do everything on Audible. I have like 150 books on Audible, and this is my first one that I just wanted to give you the gist of. It really helped me, and I really find that this can help you in your personal life, in your family life, in your work life. It can help you with your kids. It's all about mindsets. You have a good mindset. Have a great day.